Ubisoft have just provided us with a showcase on one of their new games called Assassin's Creed Nexus at Ubisoft Forward, and there's some very intriguing ideas at play here that I think you'll be interested to know. So I'm going to break down everything about Nexus for you in this video so you can decide if it's worth your time, money, and attention. Also, drop a quick like on the video to help support me. I appreciate it a lot, so thank you very much. Now, firstly, Nexus will be releasing in holiday 2023 with no precise date as of yet, but it will be coming out before the end of the year at the time of recording. Now, quite simply, Nexus is a virtual reality Assassin's Creed game that is exclusive to the Facebook, or actually I should say Meta really, but yeah, it's only coming out on the Meta Quest virtual reality headsets, meaning you will not be able to play this game on any other platform. Now, if you don't have one of those headsets, with my current understanding that not many people do, but if you are interested in giving this game a go, and I will be breaking down all of the gameplay features for you in just a moment, but there will be a hefty entry cost to do so that you need to be aware of, because Nexus will only be available on the starter headset, which is the Meta Quest 2, and that retails at £299 in the UK, $299 stateside, and for some reason €349 for my European friends. But on top of that, let's say that you do have or you do purchase a Meta Quest 2 headset, you will still have to pay for the game as well. And even though we don't have a cost released by Meta or Ubisoft at present, we can have a educated guess thanks to Meta's historical pricing when it comes to their games, which have been capped at $40 so far. So that means if you want to play Assassin's Creed Nexus, it's going to cost you north of 300 quid, €300 and $300 plus. And you may be thinking, well, that's a significantly steep price, and you'd be absolutely correct. So the game must have something pretty enticing to justify that price point if you're on the fence about virtual reality gaming. And you'd also be right, because the creative director David Wojcicki stated at Ubisoft Forward that this is a true AAA Assassin's Creed game that has a full story campaign and narrative and absolutely everything you'd expect from a console or PC Assassin's Creed title. He went on to say further that the development team have gone all in on it, and to be fair to him, there's some really impressive visuals that they have showcased in their recent preview, and we'll get to that in just a second, because what is this narrative AAA campaign all about? Well, the game itself will have 3 playable characters with a modern storyline that ties all 3 of our protagonists together, those being Kassandra from AC Odyssey, Connor from AC3, and some random dude cosplaying as Ezio Auditore in his assassin's robes. And of course, I'm joking here, but you will be able to play as Ezio in Rome 2 years after the events of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, where we will be reuniting with Leonardo da Vinci and exploring a period of Ezio's life which hasn't yet been explored in any AC official media. Now, as for Kassandra, her story takes place in 400 BC, which is 20 years after AC Odyssey, where she gets thrown into the middle of a new battle between Athens and Sparta, with Connor's storyline taking place in the 18th century American Revolution, so it's a continuation of the AC3 game in that time period, where he will need to rescue an important person to the Assassin's cause in the city of Boston. Now, as I briefly mentioned, all 3 of these stories are tied together through a modern day narrative where you and your headset are working for Abstergo, but you are secretly undercover for the Assassins, as the company is exploring these 3 new stories to assist them in discovering more ECU artifacts, with David, the game's director, summing this up by saying that we, the players, are trying to solve an ancient mystery across time. So it is a very cool premise in my opinion, but what about gameplay features? Well, as we just mentioned, this game will be taking place across vastly different time periods, but what they do have in common is open structures and objectives within cities that can be approached by us in a myriad of different ways, such as parkour, free running, or generally just hacking and slashing through everything until you get to the quest location. So the option is there to sneak around or not, with David stating that all the maps within these stories are open environments and it's your call how you want to play. Additionally, each storyline offers you the option of a 360 degrees of navigation, which means anything that you can see in your headset, you can travel to or climb up, with the NPCs in the game reacting in real time to your decisions and actions. And we will be able to use weapons such as the hidden blade to assassinate enemies, our swords as well to hack and slash, as well as a variety of tools such as smoke bombs and some fancy bow skills for range. In fact, David stated that if you flick your wrist while holding the handheld controllers, you will see the hidden blade pop out of your wrist, which you can visually see in game. And I'll be honest with you, that is a very cool feature. You can also use your hand movements to block, parry, counterattack, and even use Connor's tomahawk for some pretty savage executions. But what I do find interesting is that you can play this game in a variety of different positions, as there's been what Ubisoft call a dedicated comfort team working behind the scenes to add features into this VR game that will help people suffering from vertigo or a fear of heights, because when you're actually up high in game, you can then raise both your arms to perform that iconic leap of faith. And one of the features that has been introduced by the team to combat this fear of heights in people is what David calls a subliminal grid that gives you a better perspective or a sense of grounding underneath your feet, even if you're standing on the edge of a rooftop. And whether that works, we're just going to have to wait and see. Additionally, let's say you do decide to get this headset and the game, and you've had a hard day at work and you're not really in the mood particularly to stand up for 2 hours to play, then no problem, because the game will allow you to play while you're sitting down, while you're seated in your couch, which includes this dynamic vignetting which blacks out the edge of the screen headset to add to that immersion and make it a more enjoyable and comforting experience. Now, Ubisoft are also releasing another Assassin's Creed game, but it's set in China, which is very interesting indeed. So if you want a no-nonsense breakdown about it, do click this video on your screen right now. It actually should be on top of my face, I think, if the editing's right, and hopefully I'll see you there in just a second. Big thanks to Nika and Jaback and Donut for helping me get all the Nexus info for you, and as usual, coffee is on me.